Today on the news and why it matters, an update on the impeachment trial. Adam Schiff, it turns out, may have mischaracterized evidence. Who would have guessed that would have happened? Also, Tulsi sues Hillary, and Joe Biden snaps on a reporter. We've got a lot coming up. Starts right now. Welcome to the news and why it matters. I am Sarah Gonzalez, today joined in Dallas on this dreary day by Mr. Josh Hammer from the Daily Wire. We've got Josh Hammer back in the house, and he was early today.
Hard to believe, right?
It really was hard to believe.
It took the rainy weather to get my butt off my couch.
We've got Jaco Booyens back in the house, of course, president and founder of Share Together, and also filmmaker, jack of all trades, Jaco.
Yeah, you
say that 10 times fast.
You could go Jaco. You can make me French.
Jaco. Okay, so how do you say
of all trades.
Mademoiselle, me. Français. Yeah.
And then we've got Giancarlo Sopo.
Yes.
See, it's much more fun when I say it the way that I say it. Giancarlo Sopo of theblaze.com, the Blaze's very own Giancarlo Sopo. Got a lot to get into today. First, we would like to thank our sponsor, Black Rifle Coffee Company. You may be wondering why I am talking the way that I am, and I'm so hyped up today. It's because I had my Black Rifle coffee this morning, and I had the calf blend, which is double the caffeine, as you can see. Black Rifle is veteran-owned and operated, premium small batch roast-to-order coffee company for people who are patriots like you and us. They import the highest quality beans from around the world, and they roast the coffees after you place your order. So you are literally getting the freshest coffee available. Trust me. They've got a bunch of different varieties. They've got whole bean, they've got ground, and they've also got the little single serve coffee rounds for those of you who have the little machines and you enjoy your environmental waste and throwing away the pods. That's fine. You can also join Black Rifle Coffee Club. You can get it shipped directly to your home or office for free, and you get a discount too. So you get to choose the amounts and the blends that you like. For me, I like the calf, like I just said, and you get it at a special discounted price. So they ship it directly to your door. You never run out of coffee. They've got it there for you. Wake up to America's coffee. You can go to blackriflecoffee.com/Y. That is blackriflecoffee.com/Y. If you enter promo code Y, you'll get 20% off your first order. That includes Black Rifle Coffee Club. I suggest you take advantage of that because you're getting a discount on top of a discount. Blackriflecoffee.com/Y, promo code Y to get that 20% off. I know all of you watching online are like, all right, get to the news already. Okay, well, we have to pay to keep the lights on. All right, thank you very much. The impeachment trial once again took place today. I know I tweeted this earlier, but honestly, watching the impeachment trial makes me feel dead inside. It's so insufferable to watch these people on their pedestals, on their high horses, talking about the GOP is cheating. This is a sham. Josh, what is your take on what's gone on so far?
My take is that I feel like I'm back in middle school in the midst of like an old school cafeteria food fight, right? I mean, the Chief Justice of the United States Supreme Court, a fairly staid, laid-back man, literally past midnight on the East Coast last night, had to chime in to reprimand both sides for acting like smarmy school children. So, I mean, look, it's the Adam Schiff show. He actually showed up yesterday. I mean, give credit where credit's due. He actually was a little more coherent than he was in the House. The fundamental problem for the Democrats, of course, is that on the substance, on the merits of what we're talking about here, they don't have a case. So Schiff can bloviate. He's very good at telling a narrative. He's very good, frankly, at lying. He lied to the American people for 2 years straight about purported Trump-Russia collusion evidence. We haven't found it. So he's very good at putting on a show. He's telling a compelling narrative that the left and the MSM want to hear, but they ultimately have no case. I am, frankly, utterly bored by this. It is remarkably boring. I can't believe how many hours I've already watched through it. I guess I do this for a living. Sometimes I ask myself why, but here we are.
Right? I mean, I love my job every other time,
Yes.
and then I do stuff like this and watch the Democratic debates, and I'm like, why do I do this? And why don't I get paid like hazard pay or time and a half or something in order to watch this garbage? Jaco, so Adam Schiff, I want to play this clip of Adam Schiff because as Josh pointed out, he is very good at painting this narrative. Now, whether it's true, well, it's not. Let me just spoiler.
Again?
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to put you through this again.
Do it again.
But let's see Adam Schiff talking about, basically admitting what the Democrats want to do, which is prevent Trump from being elected in 2020. Watch.
The House did not take this extraordinary step lightly. As we will discuss, impeachment exists for cases in which the conduct of the president rises beyond mere policy disputes to be decided otherwise and without urgency at the ballot box. Instead, we are here today to consider a much more grave matter, and that is an attempt to use the powers of the presidency to cheat in an election. For precisely this reason, the president's misconduct cannot be decided at the ballot box, for we cannot be assured that the vote will be fairly won. In corruptly using his office to gain a political advantage, in abusing the powers of that office in such a way to jeopardize our national security and the integrity of our elections, in obstructing the investigation into his own wrongdoing, the president has shown that he believes that he's above the law.
So which law was it that they proposed that he broke?
Look, I got so much to say about this. I'm actually quite excited about this. I'll carry this
good,
one.
there's one of us.
I'll carry this one for the team.
Okay, good.
Listen, America, friends, this is their campaign. This is their presidential campaign for 2020. This is how they're going to campaign because they have no candidate. They also know two of the candidates are strapped to a chair writing little I love you notes to Schiff, and one other guy who can't be lucid enough is out there campaigning in Joe Biden, who should be subpoenaed to come. Look, this is a joke. Marsha Blackburn said it last night. This is their campaign. It's a circus show. The reason Schiff behaved well yesterday is because he knows he's now actually in a real chamber. And he's outranked. And he's a good schoolboy in the principal's office. This is why you're seeing him actually read and prepare and have his notes. Look, this is their campaign. This is their last hurrah. They went all in this roulette game. They bet the house. The American people said, we're a little bit smarter than you. They're highly bored. The ratings are down. Nobody's watching the damn debates. The law that was broken was no law broken, right? No obstruction of justice. 4 days ago, they again said he halted the funding. The funding arrived. The aid arrived. The aid wasn't withheld. He's just doing his job. What is the number one job of the President of the United States? We hadn't asked this question in a long time, by the way, not even with President Bush. Keep this country safe. The guy just said, look, I'm going to check and balance everything. Right? And then we're going to send you your aid. But you're going to know we're watching. These guys are treading water, and what you're going to start singing, this is, I love this. I love this. Right? Because this circus show is the sinking ship. It's the Titanic. They've hit the iceberg, and now it's just like, when will the captain jump? Right? when will Nancy jump? When's Schiff going to jump? Right? And there's no life raft that's going to save them. The American people's too smart. Come on.
That's a great point. I love that analogy, by the way. Giancarlo, so the mischaracterization of evidence on top of, all of this dog and pony show, saying President Trump is cheating, making all of these assertions that Adam Schiff cannot prove. There was also a new report that came out that says that he mischaracterized evidence that was used in the House Democrats' impeachment investigation. Apparently, he sent a letter to House Judiciary Chairman Jerry Nadler last week that summarizes a, quote, trove of evidence from Lev Parnas, who, of course, He's in a little bit of trouble. He's an associate of Rudy Giuliani. And in one section of the letter, Schiff claims that Parnas continued to try to arrange a meeting with President Zelensky, citing a specific text message exchange. And an unredacted version of the exchange shows that apparently it's not exactly what Schiff said. Schiff really, really mischaracterized the entire situation. And of course, that was used in the investigation. Let me ask you a question that I think I know the answer to. Does this surprise you at all?
Yeah, so I want to make 3 points. The first is that if you watch this on mute, it looks like you're watching Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Because he looks like Judge Doom with those crazy eyes coming out.
It really does.
Yeah, this is just terrible. So, all right, so point number 2. Obviously, Adam Schiff has been mischaracterizing his all of the evidence in this case since the beginning. We saw
since
that
Russia.
Yeah, since
Russia.
Right?
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
As Josh pointed out.
Yeah. So we saw that he made up a conversation, just point blank, during the House proceedings. So yesterday we got the information that you just mentioned, which is that he mischaracterized what was like a text message between Parnas and Rudy Giuliani. So it seems to me what he was just saying right here is that Democrats are almost already conceding the 2020 election. They're setting it up as, well, this election was rigged. They're laying the groundwork for that. And that's what's coming across very clearly during the first day of the impeachment testimony.
Which is so interesting because do you remember, I'm old enough to remember in 2016 when we were told by the Democrats, but what if Donald Trump doesn't accept the results of the election?
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
He's not going to accept the results.
Exactly.
And here we have the Democrats
what does the
3 years
accuser
later.
do? The accuser always, historically, we can go back to Genesis 1. The accuser accuses you of what he's doing. This is
Projection.
Yeah.
Someone, it's projection.
Yeah.
This is but he said something in there. Let's not let it slip. He said something in there, right? That said, the American people cannot decide at the ballot box. That sentence should not come out of any politician's mouth ever. I don't care what follows the sentence on this issue, on the impeachment. No, the American people always decide.
Yeah. He doesn't
You work
trust them.
I don't
Schiff
care if
knows
you trust
better
them or
than
not.
us, right?
You work for me, buddy.
Yeah.
We pay your paycheck.
But it's indicative of the left's dripping condescension for the median American voter, right?
Absolutely.
We see this across the spectrum. For decades, both in the judicial branch, across the legal profession, just all of the various private institutions, from Hollywood to the Fortune 500, that the left institutionally controls, they have this dripping disdain for heartland flyover country people, just normal Americans who go to church, pay their taxes, don't want to be assaulted by an illegal alien on the street.
But please buy our movie tickets.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Go to the theater.
Yes.
You also notice how like the left never loses an election? They've never lost an election, apparently. It's always that the Republicans cheated. Stacey Abrams.
Stacey Abrams.
Yeah,
is
Stacey
the
Abrams.
rightful.
She's still going around introducing herself as like the real governor of Georgia.
It's true, she really is.
Yeah, so these people are deranged. I mean, Andrew Gillum's doing the same thing in Florida. The left apparently has never lost an election in history. It's fascinating.
That's a good point.
Yeah. So Adam Schiff also kind of panicking a little bit with this whole whether or not Hunter Biden is going to be called to testify. He issued a strongly worded statement to CBS News last night. So there was allegedly this witness trade deal where Republicans were going to trade John Bolton to testify.
Quid pro quo, one might say.
Yes, one might say that for Hunter Biden. And Adam Schiff said that it was an abuse. I can't believe this. It was an abuse of the process. Even though I heard Senate Democrats were like, okay, yeah, we could go for that. And Adam Schiff was like, no, we don't want to do that. That is an abuse of the process. He said Hunter Biden, for example, can't tell us anything about whether the president withheld military aid, whether he withheld that aid to coerce Ukraine to conduct political investigations, or why he wouldn't meet with the president of Ukraine. It's like,
Nobody can tell us how his dad abused White House power to get him.
Right. Like, where's the context? There is context to what they are saying, and Adam Schiff just wants to take all the context, roll it all up, and throw it out the window. Because if you take context in this, they might not have a case.
Yeah, no, he's totally just blowing smoke here, obviously. You know, my boss at the Daily Wire, Ben Shapiro, his last column in National Review back in October, he laid it out really well. There were two theories for this impeachment. There was what Ben calls the get Biden theory, and then there was the other theory that he calls the miasma of corruption theory. The only difference between those two theories is the president's subjective intent, what he intended to do by withholding the aid. Hunter Biden can say a ton that is directly relevant to that. Because if we know that Burisma and the corruption was a huge part of why he was withholding the aid, whether he was attaching legitimate corruption-related strings on the doling out of foreign aid, which, by the way, every year polls one of the most politically unpopular elements of the entire federal budget, then we'll have direct evidence to get to whether it was the get Biden theory or the miasma of corruption theory. So Hunter Biden can speak directly to the very crux of this issue in a way that perhaps John Bolton or any other prospective witness might not even be able to do.
It's definitely exculpatory.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting, too, Yaku, last word here. You know, if Hunter Biden can't provide any sort of detail and Hunter Biden just knows nothing and is going to get up on the stand and just say, I don't know, why not just put him up there and let him say that so the Republicans are happy?
Yeah, why are you killing fires and start pointing and start accusing the president? Deflecting again when we start talking Hunter Biden. Look, Adam Schiff, just read him. He's easy to read, actually. You know, he's a terrible poker player. Right? Just read him. He panics because they know where the real smoking gun lies. It's in their camp. They know they've been doing this for years to the American people. They've been plundering and abusing their power for years, for decades, right? And so now finally you got a guy Our president standing and saying, I'm going to call you. What do you have?
Yeah.
Come on, let's play.
Yeah.
You play poker, let's play. Show me. I don't take a bluff, right? We take a bad guy out overnight while you're sleeping. You wake up and he's gone. Right? This is how we do it now.
All right, back in a minute with Tulsi is suing Hillary Clinton. Get your popcorn ready.
I just want to say, like, any one of us at this table, if our dad was doing.
Before we get back into it, we would like to thank our sponsor, Patriot Mobile. So all of you who are watching or listening to the show, if you're not with Patriot Mobile, you're probably paying way too much money for your cell phone plan, and that's not even the worst part. The places that you do use, they're donating, just millions to left-wing causes, abortion, open borders, taking away your guns and your Second Amendment. Now, before you start thinking, okay, but I need a reliable service, right? All of them use the same towers. All the carriers, they use the same towers. So the difference is Patriot Mobile is the only company that donates a portion of your bill to support the causes that you already are trying to support: religious liberty, life, the Second Amendment. That's what they're using their money to do. Starting at $25, Patriot Mobile plans come with unlimited talk, text, and the same reliable nationwide service. There's no hidden fees. We got to stick together, especially now in 2020. It is so important that we stick together. You got to go to patriotmobile.com/news. If you use the offer code news, you'll get a free month of service. If you open up a new line, you can also call their customer service team if you still use phones for what their original intent was. It's 877-367-7524. Vote with your dollars. Support conservative companies. Go to patriotmobile.com/news. Enter promo code news. Get you a free month of service. Tulsi Gabbard, presidential candidate Tulsi Gabbard, announced this morning that she has filed a defamation lawsuit against Hillary Clinton for Clinton's claims that Gabbard is a Russian asset. Of course, Tulsi said that Clinton, quote, deliberately and maliciously made false statements in an attempt to derail Gabbard's campaign. And she said, one of my favorite parts was when she said that she just can't. She was like a failed presidential candidate or something. I forget what it's not on here. It's not on here. Out of personal animus, political enmity, or fear of real change within a political party, Clinton and her allies have long dominated. And she's a cutthroat politician by any account. Now, there are a lot of people, Josh, I know you're an attorney, so I'm going to come to you first for the lawsuit question. How difficult is this going to be to prove in court?
Very hard is a short answer. So this case was wrongly decided, in my opinion, but there is a 1965 U.S. Supreme Court case, New York Times versus Sullivan, that basically what that case did was it got rid of the past 300 to 400 years of common law of defamation and implemented what is known as the actual malice standard for public officials and public figures. So for a public official like Tulsi Gabbard, in order to prove defamation, you need to prove that Hillary Clinton's subjective intent was one of, quote, actual malice. It's a very, very high standard. The court actually just dealt with this last term. It was the Bill Cosby case, actually. So very hard to succeed on these grounds. The case most originalists and constitutionalists think was wrongly decided. Clarence Thomas, in the Cosby case, wrote a very nice opinion, kind of just excoriating the doctrine. I agree with that, but she's going to have a very hard time proving this in court. For the record, I'm not trying to get sued by Tulsi Gabbard. I'm not going to call her a Russian asset, but I will say she happens to love Vladimir Putin's favorite Syrian strongman, Bashar al-Assad, a lot.
She does. That is true. Yeah. So, Yaku, obviously a hard case to prove. Yeah. You got to believe this is just for the optics, right?
100%. One, it's Hillary wanting to be relevant by engaging in conversation in Tulsi. And then, of course, Tulsi stabbing back, saying, hey, I am actually a powerhouse. This is a little bit of an ego crack there. You got to understand, right? She's not getting the support internally from her own party.
Right.
It's not going the way. She's being pushed, let's be honest. They know the horses that they want to run. So this is a tit for tat. This is two girls who obviously are dealing with a little bit of an inferiority complex, going after each other. And for Hillary, it's relevancy. She's going to engage anywhere she can, and she picked Tulsi, and she's going to go after her, and probably will start picking others.
Well, to Yaku's point, Giancarlo, Hillary was just in the news yesterday for her remarks about Bernie Sanders, which kind of lends credibility to his theory that she just kind of wants to stay in the news and keep herself relevant by saying crazy stuff.
It seems to anyone in American politics, the best thing you could have is Hillary Clinton as your opponent. Obviously not if you want to continue living. But if you want to go up in the polls, you definitely want to get into a fight with Hillary Clinton. So I do think this is a smart move by Tulsi politically. I think the last time when they traded barbs, I think it was like last October or something, and then we saw Tulsi catapult in the New Hampshire polls.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if she was trying to restart that skirmish just to see if it'll help her out. I also fully agree with Josh. I think there has actually been prior to when Hillary pointed this out, Tulsi's own hometown newspaper in Hawaii pointed out that some of the people around her have some very odd relationships with Russia. One person actually pretty close to her, I think it was her communications advisor, was accused of being an unregistered agent for Russia. So I don't want to defend Hillary Clinton, but I don't think it's also she's not making it up out of thin air either.
Yeah. Joe Biden. Joe Biden is in a little bit of hot water after he lashed out at a reporter who was asking him whether or not he accepted Bernie Sanders' apology, which is so stupid. You guys are in the middle of a presidential race. You don't have to apologize every time you say something mean or bad about the other one. But Joe Biden, he got this weird look in his eye, and then he kind of went for the guy and stopped himself. It's really weird. Watch.
Yesterday, you said you accepted Bernie's apology, and now you're attacking him. Why are you doing that?
Go.
Why wasn't his apology enough, Mr. Vice President?
Right this way,
Why attack Sanders?
Wait, you're getting nervous, man. Calm down. It's okay. He apologized for saying that I was corrupt. He didn't say anything about whether or not I was telling the truth about Social Security.
Thank you guys. We gotta do
Ed O'Keefe's face is just amazing there.
Yeah, he's like, whoa, all right, pump the brakes there, Joe. I mean, did it not, was it just me? Did it not feel like he almost snapped and kind of reined himself back in?
That was awkward. I mean, like in high school, my friends used to do that stupid little awkward turtle thing. I mean, that was like an awkward turtle moment, right? I mean, but that's also just who Joe Biden is. He's been doing this crap on the stump for 30, 40 years now. I mean, he's had these gaffes all throughout his career. It hasn't really affected him that much. He's obviously risen pretty far in life. So these kind of things, in my opinion, will not politically hurt him. It's just kind of baked into the equation at this point. But objectively speaking, not a good look.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, I don't think it's going to hurt him because he's done this, but I'm just telling you, maybe you guys are too young, but when you start tightening a vice grip, right, pressure reveals a lot. You squeeze that tube of toothpaste and you're seeing it across the board with the Dems, with these leftists. You're seeing pressure. It's just pressure. I love it. Keep pushing. Keep the pressure. It's like a running back just coming down the middle and just say, I dare you to stop me. This is the freight train. The Trump train is running, and we're saying we're coming for you, and these guys are panicking. It's just pressure, but it's not going to hurt him.
Last word?
Yeah, so I know Ed O'Keefe. I thought that was you could tell on his face that he was actually frightened. Can you imagine if Trump did this to a reporter? He'd be charged. The Democrats would be calling for him to be charged with criminal assault or something.
Trump tells a reporter to be quiet, and they tell us that it's an assault on the First Amendment.
Yeah.
So I can't even imagine. All right, back in a minute.
Really good point.
Yeah, he physically touched the guy.
Yeah, he did. I know. That's the thing, too. It's Hey, coming up in overtime, speaking of Joe Biden, well, he believes that ICE should not deport drunk driving illegal aliens. Isn't that sweet? We should just let people who are in our country illegally, who, I don't know, drink and drive and kill people, we should just let them stay, make themselves cozy. What could possibly go wrong? Also, Greta Thunberg was back in Davos yesterday, and she's here to tell you that you are wrong about everything, mostly the environment. And Elizabeth Warren promises that half of her cabinet will be women or non-binary people, whatever that means. I don't know. We've got a lot coming up. If you have not yet subscribed, you got to go to BlazeTV.com. Enter promo code NEWS. You can get you $10 off of your annual subscription. Oh, by the way, we've got another chalkboard coming out from Glenn soon, and it's going to kind of explain why all of that Ukrainian money was withheld. It all is going to make so much sense when you see it, but you got to subscribe. BlazeTV.com. Overtime starts next.
Glenn nailed this Ukraine.